welcome to this week's game, TCU. It's going to be a fun and exciting one. We're pretty fired up about being able to host TCU. It's and I know everybody knows this, but I just want to mention it. It's ironic to see two teams that are as similar as they are, two programs that are as similar as they are, coming from non-Power 5 conferences, winning, dominating. Could be the word used in what they were doing in the conferences that they were in. They were in a couple of different conferences prior to the Big 12, and obviously we were in the Big East. But being able to win conference championships and then have the opportunity to move forward to the Big 12, we were all excited about that. You know, not only we were here at WVU, but they were pretty ecstatic at TCU as well. Identical records first year, identical records second year. First year they beat us in overtime here. Second year we beat them in overtime there. And now we're both sitting here with 6 wins and doing pretty good things here on all three sides of the ball. So, you know, as far as what we're concerned, you know, another big game, another a Big 12 game. Doesn't matter where it's at. Shoot, it's going to be a big game. You know, last week was a pretty big game against Oklahoma State that we were able to do what we needed to do to be able to win. You know, be able to come back home. We know it's going to be a great game. It's going to be a great, exciting weekend. You know, for us, you know, it's business as usual. You know, we like playing at home. You know, we know the game's sold out. There's going to be a lot of attention, a lot of national attention on this game. That's great. It's great for us, great for the program. We need to worry about what we can control as a team and get good preparation in this week. We got our work cut out for us because of what TCU brings to the table. When you think of Gary Patterson, it's the defense. Been there 14 years. I've went against him a bunch of times, whether we're at Texas Tech or here the last 3 years. But just one of the best defensive minds in college football. When you look at them on tape this year, they're no different. You know, they're sound. You know, they're not trying to trick you. They're just trying to beat you with what they do defensively. They got a great D line. Got, you know, good experience at linebacker. Safeties are active. Corners are athletic. Really do a great job defensively. The biggest difference in them this year and last year is obviously what they're doing offensively. And before we talk about 82 points or any of that, you don't score 82 points just by being good on offense. You know, their defense does a great job of getting them the ball back. Their special teams are solid. So, you know, obviously they're playing well on offense, but they're playing well as a team. They're confident as a team, which puts them in position to be able to win. Offensively, it starts with Boykin. Their quarterback's he is the most improved player in college football. He is playing well. You know, I thought he was good 2 years ago. As a true freshman, he came out here and he beat us in overtime. Last year, you know, I thought he was the best receiver on the field, maybe possibly the best player on the field. I texted those guys earlier in the week, told them to move him back to receiver. He was so dang good. But you know, he's obviously playing good. Can't give Doug Meacham and Sonny Cumbie enough credit. They're doing a great job. They have a plan. You know, they know what they want to do offensively. Sonny went to TCU so he could coach quarterbacks. He's doing a great job of that. They got great skill. They've had great skill. You know, their running backs are Catalon and Green are dynamic, fast, can take it to the house at any point. Receivers are fast. You know, Boykin's accurate, and their O-line's playing pretty good. So, well-rounded, and it's not just up-tempo, spread, throw the ball type deal. Shoot, they're averaging 200 and some yards rushing as well. So, I think Gary's going to put his 2 cents worth in, and so you better run the ball a little bit as well. So they're doing a great job of all that. Special teams, they're solid. You know, their kicker's got a big leg. You know, missed, I think, a 60-yarder against us last year that would have been good from about 70. So he's got a big leg. You know, they got, you know, they're dangerous return guys. Catalan took one to the house against Baylor. They're solid and fast in their coverage units. a lot of depth, a lot of overall team speed, and they're well coached in special teams, which puts them in a good place. So well-rounded team, deserving of their record, deserving of their national ranking. It'll be a good one. So with that, we'll take some questions.
How have their two coordinators, both of whom you know, changed the offense? What are they doing differently other than what the quarterback's doing?
Well, I don't know what they did. I'd have to. There we go again. Was that good? Is that good news? That's good news, right? I can't remember the last time it happened, but hopefully we won. I'd have to go back and study what they did. Last year, the year before. I've deleted that from my memory, but. Coach Meacham was with me at Oklahoma State. We spent a good year there together. Did a great job at Houston last year. We've talked back and forth as far as what to do, and they run a very similar version of what we run. Once you become coordinator, you always change some things and go in a little bit different direction. They're running the quarterback because they got a quarterback that can run. So he'll scramble. The best thing he does is scramble around, keep the play alive, and make a play. But they will run some option and some zone read with him as well because he's athletic. The pass concepts look similar. The run game looks similar. Come to Sonny, what he brings to the table, like I said, he left Texas Tech so he could coach the quarterbacks. He was a quarterback. He's a pretty good quarterback coach. So he's doing a great job with the mechanics. Getting Boykin's confidence up and being able to put his eyes in the right place and make plays.
You touched on TCU's defense in line a little earlier. I know you weren't thrilled with some of the protection with Clinton Saturday and Stillwater.
We're going to have to play better up front in the pass game. From the protection aspect of things. It's not like we're not capable. We've faced really good rushes. But they do a great job getting to the quarterback. They don't blitz much because they don't have to, so they got good solid guys that are tenacious rushers. They're technically probably as sound as any D-line I've ever seen. So we got our work cut out for us, but we're going to have a good week of preparation and get us ready to go.
A couple of things. Did you really text Meacham and ask him?
No.
Oh, okay, just wanted to check on that.
I'll let you guys handle that. Coach says put him at receiver. He was the best receiver on the field, so they probably should move him back to receiver.
Now, what's it like though going against a team? Patterson. You talk about not gambling on defense and that, but this team when he was before he got those guys there against you guys, for example, they ran a few trick plays at you the year before that worked. I mean, a 94-yard end around. What's it like going against a team that is gonna you don't know what the hell they're gonna do?
Yeah, they got us on a trick play in overtime out here to win the game too. So we probably ought to be on the lookout for trick plays. End arounds and double passes and all that stuff. You don't see a lot of that out of us. Maybe because I don't know what I'm doing and I don't know how to coach it up, but. Typically, when you're good on offense, you don't do that stuff. So haven't seen as much out of them when it comes to that this year because they're so good on offense. So when teams are good on offense, they don't typically go to that. So but if they go to it and they should put it on film, then we need to be sound in what we're doing defensively to make sure we cover the whole field.
Said this is another Big 12 game. I think just what comes with the territory, they're another top 10 team and another #1 scoring offense. I mean, it seems like every single week you guys are facing challenges like this. Do you get used to it or no?
Yeah, I think you better. You better get used to it. I mean, this is our 9th game where 4 of them are in the top 10. And 4 of them are pretty good. Obviously, the other ones aren't bad either. So. You gotta be able to have a lot of depth. You gotta be able to have a lot of weapons to be able to continue to line up and practice and get your work in. You gotta have leaders that it's important to and understand that each and every week it's got to be important to you. I give I give our kids credit for last week. because that was tough. That was a tough deal. You know, we were coming off of a very big win. We had an average week of practice. A lot of reasons why. We go there against a team that needed a win on the road. They were 23-2 their last 4 years on that field. Good quality opponent that needed a win. The conditions were tough, and we figured out a way to win. So I think it's important to our guys, and if it's important to them, then they'll probably put their best foot forward again this week.
Any update on Terrell Chestnut?
Hadn't been cleared yet, but we'll see how he responds today. I would be incredibly disappointed if he wasn't able to go. He's functioning fine. That when you're dealing with that type of an injury, that's out of my hands. That's completely 100% in the doctor's hands. I would anticipate him functioning fine today.
Dana, WVU and TCU are combined or averaging about 90 points a game. And I know special teams is always important, but do you feel special teams this week may really need to be really on? Could be.
I was really happy with what we did last week. You know, we had a huge challenge with number 24, with Tyreek Hill. That dude was dynamic, man. He could scoot, and obviously we knew that going into it. But watching him on the field, catch him in pregame, I'm like, ooh. And our kickoff team, led by Molinari, was good. I mean, 5 touchbacks was awesome. We covered good. We tackled them. Nick O'Toole had his best day, I thought. You know, we in our coverage unit on punt team, led by Justin Arndt, who was our dude on special teams this week. But Nick had five punts inside the 20 with no touchbacks. So winning the field position battle was huge. It'd be the same way this week. You got to flip the field. You got to tackle them. You got to make them earn their yards. On offense, you can't give them cheap yards. So it'll be big. It is each and every week.
Given your schedule, have you ever watched College Game Day?
No, it's tough. I mean, you kind of, you know, it's on in the hotel room. Sometimes you're in there, sometimes you're not. You know, so those guys do a good job. We're thrilled to have them.
Dan, what's your definition of the Heisman Trophy? Is it the best player in college football, the most valuable? And why is it so hard for a receiver to win it, do you suspect?
A question I really wouldn't care to answer. Don't care to answer. It's media. You know, I mean, it's a prestigious award. You know, what my take is on it doesn't really matter. I mean, it should be the best player or the most valuable player. You got to win to be in that discussion. I'm sure. You know, there's plenty of people out there that are going to be deserving of it if they're on a 10-2 or 11-1 team. So, you know, there's a lot of things got to line up for that to happen. It's typically the quarterback. You know, it's just the way that works.
Last couple times you talked after Oklahoma State and yesterday, when you were talking about Clint, you mentioned him as a game manager. I mean, for a lot of guys, that's a knock when somebody says, yeah, he's just a game manager. You seem like you're really proud of how far he's come and really happy with what he's doing. If you could speak to that a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't say he was just a game manager. I mean, he's a pretty damn good quarterback too. You know, but he's a very smart kid. He's very aware of his surroundings. There's a lot of guys that are good players that are completely unaware of their surroundings, regardless of what the position is. He's very aware of his surroundings. He knows what the mood is with the guys. He knows when to pick them up. He knows when to challenge them. He knows when to slow things down. You know, I mean, he's a pretty intuitive kid, and he's extremely aware of his surroundings and what it takes to be successful. So, you know, sometimes he tries too hard to be like that. He's obviously going to be a great coach, but at times you gotta just cut loose and play the game. So we've talked to him a little bit about that this week, as far as, you know, just playing the game. Don't try to be perfect. Don't try to control the game. I've been guilty of that myself offensively, trying to call plays to try to control the game. That can get dangerous. And he needs to make sure that he understands that he's a player, and, you know, don't forget to play, so to speak. So, but he's just so smart, and he understands, and he's aware of his surroundings, which makes him a great player.
Is that one of the biggest differences from last year?
Oh yeah, he was completely unaware of his surroundings last year, due to no experience and not knowing people's names, and not knowing the offense, not knowing the signals. I mean, it just goes on and on.
As much as you care to divulge about this, and I'm not asking for much, I understand, but your play calling operation with the towels and the board, is that out of necessity because other teams are so familiar with you, or is it because teams are really aggressive and trying to pick out signals now and gaining an advantage?
It's really a combination of both. You know, everybody we play knows a lot. I mean, there's another example this week with Meacham and Cumbie. I mean, they're going to share. I mean, I look at them and I see some of the same signals. You know, so same thing. We're going to know what theirs are as well. So you just got to try to be discreet with them. I mean, if you sit there and obsess over it and you know, it can slow you down, it can hinder you, it can hurt you. So we just try to be smart with it, you know, and come up with creative ways with the boards, come up with creative signals to try to disguise it, try to be discreet with it.
Is it any different? Like, will you add a third board this week or a fifth version?
We change every week.
What's that?
We change the board every week.
All right, I get that, but like, just because they know you, it's two guys who really know you. Do you have to be even more diverse this week, or just better with what you already?
I the way we're doing it, I'd be surprised if they get if they get anything but a low percentage of it. So I'm very comfortable with where we're at and how we're doing that.
What was the animal in the top left corner?
That's it.
Anteater?
That's a long story. Yeah.
Drivon Henry with 2 picks this week. Almost had one a couple weeks back. Is he a guy that maybe has a ball hawk mentality that you'll take in defense that has struggled to get some turnovers this year?
Oh, I hope so. You know, I mean, he's been close. He's been getting better and better. He didn't just get the Player of the Week because of 2 picks. You know, I mean, he's been getting better. He's been practicing better. You know, you worry about that with freshmen. You know, are they going to hit a wall and digress and get worse, get wore out and all that? You know, and I thought he was headed there about week 5, week 6. I thought he was kind of starting to dip, and he refocused and has started the incline. And has been doing better in the last 2 weeks. Thought he had his best game against Baylor prior to Oklahoma State, and we thought this was his best game as well. So was in the right play. The first pick was a better pick than the second pick. The second one came right to him. Not to take anything away from him, but you know, the more that he understands the defense and is in the right position, he can let his instincts take over, and that's where he's getting at this point.
Can you compare he and Worley at similar stages of their careers? I mean,
I'd say pretty similar. You know, Daryl wasn't every down guy last year. We moved him around some. He started at safety against Iowa State. You know, so we moved him around. And one thing that Coach Gibson's done a great job of is leaving people in spots. And we've been able to do that because our depth is good, our health is good. And that makes you a whole lot better. Last year, we were moving people around so much for a variety of reasons that Daryl wasn't able to settle in. You know, Daryl's obviously settled in playing at a high level because he's been doing the same thing for you know, all of the spring and all of camp and summer and the season as well.
Speaking of Tony, his second half numbers in the last couple games have been really good as far as stopping teams, not giving up points. You're in a different part of the locker room, I get, at that point in the game at halftime. But is there something that you've noticed that he's adept at as far as making that adjustment or figuring out 1 or 2 things to explain the second half success?
Yeah, you know, halftime adjustment, I think people will be fabricating stories if they say halftime adjustments are you know, really make the difference in the outcome of the game. I haven't been a part of too many of those. You want to make a few adjustments. I mean, that's always that better take place, and that's obviously taking place. I think a bigger area to focus on when it comes to that is the motivational, the tactics that are used, the getting the guys ready to go. I mean, Gibby's demeanor is so great that he instills confidence in those guys to be able to go out there and expect to be successful.
Danny, you think Wendell's kind of turned a corner here after this game? And I mean, with the amount of carries that he got in that heat, I mean, how proud are you of the way he ran?
Yeah. You know, he was such a valuable receiving threat for us early that he wasn't getting the carries, you know, because we needed him to be a receiving threat, and not as much of a running back threat. Without having Shell back there, he's been picking that up and getting better and better. Thought he finished the game against Baylor better than he started the game. You know, so he's been able to maintain his endurance and play well. He's a very versatile kid. I think he could be an every down back like Sims was for us last year. Don't need him to do that right now. So, you know, and we'll get Shell back here probably this week, hopefully find out today. And, you know, that'll take some of the load off of him. But all those guys are doing good. Thought Dreamus went in and played well. Dustin Garrison went in there and gave us some snaps. And Bowie's a versatile kid as well. Bowie's been doing some good things on special teams as well. So there's a lot of things that those guys do that have been doing good.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
All right, thank y'all.